Welcome to the Red Dice Diaries, and this is my first video answering a question for RPGaDay 2017. Okay, well, if you're not sure what RPGaDay 2017 is, it's basically a series of questions that encourages people to think about aspects of their role-playing history, what sort of games you like, and encourages a bit of discussion between the online community. And the idea is that every day in August, whether it's via blogs, videos, or whatever, you answer one of the questions on the infographic that's been put out. And I'll show you that now so you can get an idea of the sort of questions. If you need more information on it, I did a promo video for it, which I'll put a link to in the description down below. Now, as you can see from the infographic, the first question is, what published RPG do you wish you were playing right now? Now, I'm sure it'll come as no surprise to anyone who follows my channel or who knows me that it's a Fate game. Yep, I know, big surprise. But this Dresden Files Accelerated by Evil Hat Productions. Now, this is based on the previous Dresden Files RPG, which was a sort of an older version, a pre-Fate core version of Fate, whereas I've always been more partial to the simplicity of Fate Accelerated, which is a slightly different build of the same game, essentially. Now, to my mind, what Dresden Files Accelerated does, and it does very well, is it takes the crux of Jim Butcher's Dresden Files books, urban fantasy books, which I'm very, very much a fan of. And if you don't know anything about them, I'll put a link to like the Dresden wiki or whatever in the description below so you can check that out. But essentially the books tell the story of Harry Dresden, who is a wizard of the White Council, and all the sort of supernatural shenanigans he gets into. Now, Dresden Files Accelerated allows you to basically play sort of urban fantasy games. Obviously, it's geared towards the Dresden Files universe, or the Dresdenverse as it's sometimes known, but it wouldn't be terribly difficult to adapt it to other games, and there's a lot of good ideas in here that will be of great use to anyone who is running a Fate Accelerated game. It gives you sort of templates for different supernatural creatures and ideas for using stunts. There's rules for scale in here, which you can use for different size things or different power levels of entities. It renames the approaches into things that I think are a lot easier for a person just coming into the game to grasp. There's a lot of good stuff in here that you can really profit from in any Fate Accelerated, or probably even any Fate core game, not just if you're running Dresden Files, along with what is a fairly sweet magic system that breaks magic down into two styles of magic: evocations, which are basically just your normal Fate actions, but justifying them using magic. So if you're using an evocation to launch a fireball at somebody, it'd be a ranged attack justified by the fact you're using magic to launch a fireball. But there's also a ritual system in here where effectively the GM sets the difficulty of the ritual, and you have to pay a certain number of costs to activate the ritual, which is fairly freeform when it comes to the actual effects of the ritual in question. But if you succeed on the roll, you get to pick the cost. So obviously you can pick the ones that are least disadvantageous for you. Whereas if you draw with the difficulty, you get to pick some of the costs and the GM gets to pick some. If you fail, some form of the ritual will still go ahead, but the GM will get to pick the cost, and obviously they'll be more complicated for your character. It's a little bit more complicated than the evocations, but compared to the original Dresden Files RPG and the magic systems in some games, it's an absolute breeze to run. I've been privileged enough to play in a game that John Peter Drury ran with a few good friends of mine, the Motor City Files it was called. That's available online. If I can find the link to that, I'll put it in the description below as well. And we really enjoyed that, but it was only a sort of a very finite little game. I'd really love to get a chance to play some more Dresden Files Accelerated. So there we go. That's my answer to question number one. What published RPG do I wish I was playing right now? It's this, Dresden Files Accelerated by Evil Hat Productions. So I hope to see you in tomorrow's video. Until then, take care and happy gaming. And I hope that if you enjoyed this video, you'll consider clicking on like and subscribe, and check out some of the other videos we do here on Red Dice Diaries. Take care.